which is why a lot of managers now in corporations, there's a lot of courses that are being offered now to managers that give an overview of AI so that they can have realistic expectations, because there's some very unrealistic expectations that managers hold regarding AI and tech in general, you know?
Well,
And
isn't it at a place now that I don't think anybody really knows what is going to come next. And I think this type of pressure on people is not like the good kind of pressure. You know, when you're hearing literally, it's almost like every single Monday there's like an article in Medium about how in the next 2 years there's going to be no programmers. And then the next week it's like in the next year. And so people at these companies, and it's fair to them, are literally at this place where they have no certainty in their futures. If the bots are gonna do everything, like think about it this way: all
but that's a lie. I
cars
just
used to
remind me it's
used
a
to
lie, but continue.
all cars used to be made by hand, and now only your like Aston Martin DB12s are like
Ferrari.
handcrafted. Yeah, you know, now you just have a production line that sprays and puts together and boom, boom, dun, dun, dun. You wouldn't like that's what it can get to. That's like at its full optimization. So you wouldn't want people to say, no, we should pull back on this type of automation. We need to get some people in here. It's like, why would you do that? Now, maybe AI isn't like 1 or 2 years away to doing that, but you can see a future in like 10 years where it is like that, where there is really no point in doing programming and stuff for kids anymore. Like it was for guys like Bill Gates. You know, he specifically speaks about how all his time was just spent coding.
Yeah.
Why? Because there's no AI and stuff back then. So that was it. That was like, oh, I'm gonna learn this thing, and I'm passionate about this thing, coding. Um, that doesn't exist anymore. So that change is there. You don't have like 9-year-old kids and stuff now who are trying to learn programming that way.
The
They're doing it through AI and stuff.
thing is AI being able to mimic and having, or even mimic understanding, but have true understanding of something is different. And that's where AI still fails. It doesn't have true understanding of something, right? It's not sentient. So even the reasoning models, which means that you can tell it if it's a small something, like just do this simple thing, even though it looks relatively complex, it can do that, but chances there's still going to be some bugs in there, or there's going to be something missing that to a person would be obvious. Like, obviously, we need to include the API, or obviously, or obviously, we need to include this feature, but it's not obvious to the AI because the AI is more of a speaking encyclopedia. It's a store of human knowledge, whether it's in literature or technology, biology, whatever it is. When you prompt it, it will give you back the information that you're seeking in a structured format. But it doesn't mean that it actually understands what it's giving you. And so that's the key difference, is that you're still going to need people who can read code, whether it's Java, JavaScript, Python, or Golang, or whatever. is still going to need to be able to read it, understand it, and then guide it to fulfill the actual requirements of said project or whatever it may be.
But okay,
And I
so
read and I
here's what I will say, just to add something in there. The example I used about the car manufacturers, they
yeah, but
still have
that's not
they still
understanding though.
have people there who have programmed it to then automatically do it.
And they have manual actual people who supervise the work of the machines on the production line.
Yeah, but it's cut obviously,
Yeah, yeah.
probably more than half. So what
Yes.
I'm saying is that I'm not saying it's at that point now where there is no human involvement, but the teams are going to be cut very small. You're going to have like a skeleton crew overseeing the AI,
Yeah, yeah, no, you're right.
five programmers. It's so I'm not saying completely remove human beings. I'm just saying,
It's going to be a
yeah,
great
you
cut.
wouldn't it wouldn't be necessary. You would like completely clear that human error when you've only got five masters at the head of it, at the helm,
Yeah, there I give
putting it to
you
work.
there I agree. It is going to be like that. It
Wait, no,
can.
it's not gonna have like Janine and Barry there at the coffee station talking about how, oh, did you see the new model of Claude or Mythos or whatever? It's those people are gonna be completely shut out, you know? People who are trying to clock in to get a paycheck and run away on the weekend. No, there's gonna be no weekends. you know? You're gonna work like an those people who get the job, they can probably work every single day. They clock in for an hour, make sure everything is okay, and the AI is just working around the clock. They're not gonna have that guy like, oh, sorry, I had a bit of flu yesterday. Here's my doctor's letter. Like, no, you go off and do whatever you want to do, but it's not gonna be around here.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting world.
And so it kind of goes full circle back to the first
But
thing,
at the
which
same
is
time, here's one thing. Here's one thing. That's the question also. In most of the developing or the developed world, we see that birth rates are declining anyway. Populations are declining anyway. So the question I think would be
yeah, so
interesting.
go and have kids. Stop
I
wasting time here at the office.
I think the question is, how will the reduced demand for employment match up with the reduced birth rates? Because it has to all be at equilibrium. You know what I mean? Otherwise, we're just gonna see violent revolts at some point. At some point,
Well, look, guys like Elon and a couple of these other dudes
oh my gosh, the
are
master of the
talking about.
dystopian world, yeah,
They're talking about what's it called?
universal basic income,
No, no, it's UHI, um,
human
which
income.
is no, universal high income. It's not basic;
Okay.
it's high.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
they've been saying. I mean, it's not
But
new. They've
don't
been
get
saying
it
that
from them
for.
because they're not gonna tax. They don't want to pay taxes, so it's gonna have to come from somewhere else. That's the thing.
No, well, I'm not saying this. This is allegedly. This is just maybe other
You
people are
know,
saying this.
someone's got to
But
pay
when
for
people
their.
when people are knocking on their doors with pitchforks, um, that's gonna be the only way to keep everybody calm.
Yeah, yeah.
Everybody's gonna look at the tech companies and be like, "Okay, you guys own the world. Now make right." And then they'll have to give each person whatever amount of money it is.
Dude, that'll be one of the worst futures ever because I don't know
But
these
don't
guys.
act like you're gonna
Listen,
be living it. Look, there's always a golden time when, say, it first gets rolled out. Maybe that time lasts like 10 years, maybe 20 years. But there's a golden age of it where everybody gets their money and it's like, hey, what are you doing today? Oh, I'm flying to Japan. Really? Oh, I was just there last week. Yeah, isn't it amazing? That there's gonna be a golden age of that where there's going to be those specific people who enjoy it. Hey, I'm getting a lot of money every month and I'm painting. Oh, I took up painting. Hey, I finally learned to play guitar after all these years. Really? Oh, yeah, me and my friends, we have a garage band. We're actually putting on shows, and people are giving us money for it. We're playing at little cafes and stuff like that. There's
Yeah.
gonna be a time like that where it's like, oh my goodness, we can actually do whatever we want. But then eventually, you know what happens.
Yeah, I mean the guys who are in power.
Eventually, it becomes something else.
Yeah, because the thing is, first it's AI, okay? It's not physical security, but it's AI taking your jobs and they're offering to pay you a fee so you shut up and stay home. But then they're going to get robotics to the point where now they have automated security, automated police, automated soldiers. And then at some point, this tech oligarch is just going to be sitting there and like, okay, Jeffrey, why don't you go home? I've got this. And he just, whenever we try and go revolt, he just sends out 1,000 robot guards to just beat the crap out of like 10,000 people, right? Because we've already seen these Chinese robots that are busy kicking like Bruce Lee and doing backflips. Um, and that's
But
the
the
creepy part.
dogs are
That's
already being used, which
the what?
are the dogs, the AI dogs. They have them
Hmm.
on these farms as the security. Um, but anyways,
Yeah, but it doesn't look good,
the
bro. Like,
the the real problem isn't that. The real problem would come down to some form of, like a merit system where, and we're already seeing it now with people being arrested for tweets and stuff like that, is when you have a difference in opinion, then they're able to, through some stipulation, shut down your payment for the month.
hmm,
That's when it's out of control.
yeah,
Like based on some type of merit system. Oh, you did this, so we're not gonna pay you your money this month. You're not being a good boy. Uh,
yeah, dude. It's
that's what happens with it. That's where it becomes, oh, so now I see you guys have control over me because now I don't even have the funds. It's
yeah.